Okay, we talked about the 4 error checks that have to happen in order for this thing to determine that you had a legitimate piece of paper down here. This is what this is, a paper counting machine. This setting right here, lots of times people will say, oh, I flip this thing to off and it works beautifully. Yeah, well, it's lying to you at that point because none of the error detecting is actually working at that point. So you'll want to use this thing at this stack of papers right here. Never anything else. You'll never get it to run through there. Some manufacturers use these different settings because what this is light and dark. US money is greenback money, it's dark money. Some manufacturers allowed you to put it in the middle for like a medium setting, or that setting was for food stamps. Back in the day they had documents called food stamps. They were printed on one side. They had to be ran in a lighter setting so that they would process through. But basically if I run this bill through, you notice I get 1 count. That is not 1 bill there. That's actually two bills taped together. So since I have the stack on, I need 1 bill to set up as the average, and then the next one should catch as a double. So that is exactly what this machine is supposed to do. When a double bill comes after the first one is set up, then it actually flags that as a double. So these errors are common errors: DBL, double, CHN, chain. These are errors that the tellers, whoever the operator is going to see on a regular basis. So you need to determine whether or not these errors are legitimate errors, which are no big deal. You got janky money, please just, we have a clean machine now, try to process that. Some of the mechanical errors are caused by worn out rollers and things of that nature. But basically, if anyone ever tries to tell you, and I never say never, but I'll say never on this, I'll bet Vegas money that if they say they run money and the thing counts over, never happened. I probably ran calls 30,000 times and I've never had that happen. Now, on the other part of that, I run money through the machine and I know I got 100 bills and it says 99. Well, typically that means that the double adjustment is out of adjustment. And typically that would be brand new money. So it's going to get stuck together. You can address some of that by the mechanical stripping that we'll talk about later on. But basically, I'm going to show you how to calibrate this machine. Not that it has to be done every time you go to look at it, but if you have determined you have legitimate errors that might be causing this particular operator problems, you probably ought to calibrate the machine. But just remember, your sensors have a life expectancy of 10 to 15,000 hours. It's not like back in the old days when you had incandescent lamps. You could actually look in here and see lights. Those things would weaken about every 100 hours or so, and you were constantly going back and adjusting them up, tweaking them, kind of like Christmas tree lights. But now that you have infrared sensors and things of that nature, these things hold up much better than that. So just if we have a little bit of time left on this video, I'll mention something about the timing. So basically, this kick roller right here is kicking the bill down inside the machine, and a good rule of thumb to remember is when the leading edge of this kick roller is up like this, that means that the leading edge of this feed roller right here needs to be also on the up motion. I know that's kind of hard to see right here in a video, but we'll talk about this later. So the feed drum, the main feed drum right here, as it comes up, these things also need to be coming up. Now, there's a lot of little nuances that goes on with different manufacturers, but basically if you remember that, overall, you'll never have any sort of failure, kicking, because sometimes people will actually get this thing out of time and use a bicycle chain to fix that.